Hi, this is Chelsea from Om. Today we're going to do a Hatha practice that's focused on half moon pose. Go ahead and meet me on your backs and we'll get started. Starting on the backs, you'll bring the soles of the feet together, let your knees splay wide apart, and then from here you'll bring your arms to a field goal or a cactus shape. Elbows are bent at about 90 degrees, palms face up towards the ceiling. Take a deep inhale just like this. Then as you exhale, start to draw the forearms in towards each other. Think about bringing the elbows in towards each other, maybe they touch. And then we'll inhale to bring the arms all the way back out to that field goal. Exhale, press the forearms in towards each other. Inhale to bring your arms all the way back out wide. And one more time, we'll exhale the arms in towards each other. Inhale to bring your arms all the way back out wide. And then on your next exhale, we'll start to draw the knees in towards each other. And then one by one, go ahead and bring your knees in towards your chest. Grabbing onto the shins here. Maybe you wrap the arms around the shins and rock a little bit from side to side. And then when you're ready, you'll either start to rock forward and back, coming up to a comfortable seat, or you can bring your knees to one side and come up to a seated pose. So from here, we'll take a big inhale, bring your arms all the way up overhead, gaze up, reach up. As you exhale, fold forward, reaching your arms as far out in front of you as you would like. Maybe you keep your arms extended out here, or maybe you bend into the elbows, bringing the forearms down towards the mat. Take a moment to shake the head yes, shake the head no. And then when you're ready, let the crown of the head hang straight down towards the mat, tucking your chin in towards your chest. We'll take one last deep breath, just like this. And then when you're ready, we'll inhale to slowly roll all the way back up to your comfortable seat, stacking shoulders over hips. We'll exhale to roll over the shins, plant the hands, come to the top of your table pose. So from here, we'll stack shoulders right over wrists. Hips are right over knees. Draw your shoulders back away from the ears. We'll take an inhale to drop the belly down, gaze up towards the ceiling, draw your shoulders back. And then exhale, draw the low belly in, really round through your spine as you gaze back towards the thighs. We'll do this 2 more times. Inhale to drop the belly down, gazing up. Exhale, round through the spine, gaze back towards your thighs. One more time. Inhale to drop the belly down, gaze up. And exhale, draw the low belly in, gaze back towards the thighs. From here, we'll inhale back out to the top of your table pose. As you exhale, really draw the shoulders back away from the ears, pull your low belly and low ribs in. We'll inhale to extend the right leg back behind you, hook your right toes down on the floor. And then as you exhale, press out through that right heel, find a little calf stretch. We'll take an inhale here, flipping onto the top of that right foot. And as you exhale, start to sweep the right foot over towards the back left corner of the mat, gazing over towards your right toes. We'll inhale, sweep the right leg all the way out towards the right side of the mat, toes face towards the front of the room. And exhale to sweep the leg back over towards the left. One more time, we'll inhale out towards the right-hand side. Exhale back over towards the left. We'll inhale, this time come all the way out onto the right-hand side of the mat. And as you exhale, this time you'll plant that right foot down. On an inhale, slowly rise all the way up to standing on the knees. And exhale to draw your shoulders down away from the ears. From here, take a big inhale, bring your arms all the way up overhead. As you exhale, start to plant the left hand down outside of that left knee so that your right foot left knee, and left hand are all in one straight line. Take a big inhale, gaze up towards your right fingers. Maybe you tent up onto those left fingertips. As you exhale, think about drawing that left shoulder blade or right shoulder blade back behind you. Take one more deep breath, just like this. When you're ready, one more big inhale here, really reach up. And then as you exhale, plant that left hand to reach your right fingers up and overhead. From here, on your next inhale, maybe you lift off of those right toes, flexing the toes in towards the body. Exhale to stabilize here. And take one more big inhale, just like this. And then as you exhale, if you'd like to, maybe bending into that right elbow, bending into the right knee, start to bring elbow and knee in towards each other. We'll inhale to extend all the way back out. And exhale to contract back in. Inhale to extend back out. Exhale as you contract back in. We'll inhale to extend back out. And exhale as you plant the right foot back down. This time we'll inhale to rise back up to standing on the knees. Once again, arms come through a strong T. Then as you exhale, turn the right toes up towards the ceiling. Start to reach the right hand down towards the right shin. Take a big inhale, gaze up towards your left fingers. And as you exhale, draw the left shoulder blade back behind you just a little bit. We'll take one more deep breath just like this. When you're ready, big inhale, rise back up to standing on the knees. We'll exhale to plant the hands, come back to the top of your table pose. Shaking out through the hips just a little bit here. Maybe you take another one of those cat-cows. Inhaling to drop the belly down, gazing up. And exhale to draw the low belly in, rounding through the spine, maybe tenting up onto the fingertips. From here, we'll inhale to come back to that strong table pose. And as you exhale, start to extend that left leg back behind you, pressing out through your left heel. We'll take a big inhale just like this. As you exhale, this time sweep those left toes over towards the right corner of the mat. Inhale to bring them all the way over onto the left side. And exhale to sweep them back over towards the right. Inhale as you sweep them over towards the left. Exhale to sweep back over towards the right. We'll inhale back over to the left-hand side. And this time as you exhale, we'll plant that left foot down. From here, inhale to rise up to standing on the knees. And exhale, draw the shoulders down away from the ears. Take a big inhale, bring both arms all the way up overhead. And as you exhale, start to plant that right hand down outside the right knee. So right hand, right knee, and left foot are all in one straight line. Big inhale as you gaze up towards those left fingers. And exhale, draw the left shoulder blade back behind you just a little bit more. Maybe you tent up onto the right fingertips here. We'll take one last deep breath, just like this. And when you're ready, we'll take a big inhale to reach. And exhale, reach those left fingers towards the front of the room. From here, if you'd like to, we'll inhale to start to lift up through the outside of that left leg. Flex the left toes in towards the body. And exhale to stabilize here. We'll take one more deep inhale, just like this. Then as you exhale, maybe you start to bend into that left elbow and left knee, bringing them in towards each other. We'll inhale to extend all the way back out. And exhale to contract back in. Inhale to extend back out. And exhale to contract back in. Inhale to extend all the way back out. And exhale to plant that left foot back down. From here, we'll inhale, rise back up to standing on the knees. As you exhale, flip the left toes up towards the ceiling, reach your left hand forwards and then down towards that left shin. Big inhale as you gaze up towards right fingers. And exhale, draw that right shoulder blade back behind you just a little bit more. We'll take one more deep breath just like this. When you're ready, big inhale, rise back up to standing on the knee. And we'll exhale to come back down to the top of our table pose. Again, shaking it out through the hips just a little bit. Coming back to your strong table, we'll take one last cat-cow, inhaling to drop the belly down, gazing up. And exhale, draw the low belly in, gaze back towards your thighs. We'll inhale, come back to the top of your strong table pose. Exhale to stabilize here, really pressing into the palms, drawing the shoulders back away from the ears, firming the ribs in the low belly. When you're ready, we'll step the right foot, then the left back to the top of your plank pose. Take one more big inhale, just like this. And then as you exhale, send your hips up and back. Find your downward facing dog. Take a moment here to pedal out through your feet. Maybe you sway the hips from side to side. Maybe you shake the head yes and no. Maybe you bend into one knee and then the other. Do anything you need to do to get settled here in your downward facing dog. We'll take one last deep breath just like this. When you're ready, we'll inhale to rise to tiptoes, gaze forwards towards your fingers. As you exhale, slowly walk the feet up to meet the hands, taking tiny, tiny steps until you reach your standing forward fold. Knees can be bent here or they could be straight. Feet can be about hip width apart or in closer together, totally up to you. Grab for opposite elbows if that feels good. Maybe sway a little bit from side to side. Again, you could shake the head yes and no. Take a couple of breaths here to make this feel really good. On your next exhale, let the hands fall back down towards the mat. We'll inhale to bring hands to shins, peek up about halfway, really reach out through the top of your head. And then as you exhale, we'll start to fold back in. We'll do that 2 more times. Inhaling to bring hands to shins, peek up halfway, press out through your sits bones as you reach out through the top of your head. And then exhale to fold forwards. One more time, we'll inhale to peek up halfway, really draw in the low belly to lift. And then exhale to fold back in. And this time we'll inhale to slowly roll all the way up to standing. Shoulders, neck, and head are the very last things to lift. And then as you exhale, draw the shoulders down away from the ears. Palms will face forward, fingers really spread. Maybe you softly close your eyes here. Drawing the shoulders down away from the ears. We'll take one more deep breath just like this. And when you're ready, take a big inhale, bring your arms all the way up overhead. Exhale to grab for opposite elbows here, drawing the shoulders down the back. We'll take one more big inhale, grow just a little bit taller. And then as you exhale, find a little side bend over towards the right. Really press down through the outside of that left foot. We'll take one last deep breath here. When you're ready, big inhale, rise back up through standing. And then exhale, take that same little side bend over towards the left. Really pressing down through the outside of that right foot. Take one more deep breath just like this. We'll inhale to rise back up through center. Reach your arms straight up overhead. As you exhale, we'll fold forward over bent knees or straight legs. From here, really plant your left hand right underneath the nose. Bend into your left knee just a little bit. Big inhale to reach the right arm up high. Maybe you gaze up towards those right fingers. As you exhale, really draw that right shoulder blade back behind you, opening up through the chest. Maybe you tent up onto the fingertips here. Maybe you start to bend into that right elbow, bringing the back of that right hand to the low back or the outside of that left hip. Take one more deep breath, just like this. And then when you're ready, big inhale, reach the right arm back up towards the ceiling, gaze up. And exhale to plant that right hand down, bending back into both knees. Plant the right hand right underneath the nose, bend into the right knee. Big inhale to reach your left arm up high, gaze up towards those left fingers. As you exhale, start to draw the left shoulder blade back behind you. Maybe you tent up onto those left fingertips. Maybe you bend into your left elbow and bring the back of that left hand to the low back or the outside of the right hip. Take one more deep breath, just like this. And then when you're ready, big inhale, left arm reaches back up towards the ceiling, gaze up. And exhale to bring the left hand back down, bend back into both knees. From here, we'll inhale to peek up halfway, reach out through the top of your head. As we exhale, plant both hands down, step the left foot back towards the back short edge of the mat, coming into a runner's lunge. From here, we'll start to bring the hands up onto the thigh. Think about drawing the right hip back and left hip forwards here. Then when you're ready, we'll inhale to bring the arms all the way up overhead. And exhale to draw the shoulders down away from the ears. So we'll be here for a couple of deep breaths. Think about bringing your right knee more or less right over that right ankle, really drawing up through that back left inner thigh. Pelvis tucks under just a little bit here. Low belly and low ribs really draw in. Shoulders draw down away from the ears. Maybe you gaze forwards. Maybe you gaze up towards the fingers. Maybe you work to press the palms towards each other. Take one more deep breath, just like this. When you're ready, we'll take one last big inhale here. And then as you exhale, bring your arms to a strong T, pivot and plant that back left foot so that your right heel is in line with the middle of that back left arch. Looking over that front middle finger, maybe you take a moment to look back at your left middle finger, make sure your arms are in one straight line. Take a couple of breaths here. Making sure that right knee is tracking towards the middle two toes of your right foot. 90-degree bend or less in that front right knee. Inner thighs draw in towards each other. Low belly and low ribs draw in. Shoulders draw down away from the ears. And when you're ready, we'll inhale to straighten out through that front right knee. Exhale to reach your front fingers forwards and then down towards that right shin. Take a big inhale to reach the left fingers up towards the ceiling. Maybe you gaze up towards those left fingers. Maybe you look straight out in front of you, or maybe you look down towards that right foot. Take a couple of breaths here, still drawing the inner thighs in towards each other, working to draw up through that whole left side body. Quads are engaged, not dumping too much weight into that right arm and right hand. Take one more deep breath, just like this. When you're ready, we'll inhale, bring the arms back up to that strong T. And exhale, bend back into your front right knee. As you exhale, start to bring your right forearm down onto your right thigh. Big inhale, left arm will reach up and overhead, rotating the left arm so that the pinky side of that left hand points down towards the floor. Making sure you're really drawing up through that left side body, drawing the inner thighs in towards each other. Maybe you gaze up and under that left armpit. Take one more deep breath just like this. Take an inhale, reach your left arm straight up for the ceiling. And then from here, as you exhale, really bend into that right knee. See if you can plant those right fingers down on the ground. We'll take an inhale to lift up through that left leg, and then exhale to lower back down. Inhale to lift up. Exhale to lower back down. One more time, inhale to lift up. This time, as you exhale, see if you can find some balance here. Drawing that left shoulder blade back behind you. Maybe you're pressing down into those right fingertips, or maybe you slowly start to lift up. Maybe you start to shift your gaze up towards those left fingers. And then as you exhale, we'll bend into the right knee, slowly lower that left foot back down. Inhale to rise back up to your warrior two. And then as you exhale, cartwheel the hands down around that front right foot, pop up on your back left toes. We'll inhale, step the right foot back to meet the left. And then exhale, send your hips up and back. Find your downward facing dog. Take a couple of breaths here, noticing any differences you feel between right and left sides. Finding some movement if that feels good. And then when you're ready, we'll take an inhale to rise back up onto tiptoes, gazing forwards. Exhale to slowly walk the feet up to meet the hands. Finding your forward fold. Take a breath or two just like this. Maybe the knees are bent. Maybe the legs are straight. And when you're ready, we'll inhale to bring hands to shins, peek up about halfway, reach out through the top of your head. And we'll exhale to fold back in, this time stepping the right foot back towards the back short edge of the mat. All 10 toes are facing forwards. We'll bring the hands up onto that left thigh. Draw your left hip back and right hip forwards. And then big inhale as arms come up overhead. Exhale to draw the shoulders down away from the ears. Again, really drawing the inner thighs in towards each other. That right thigh draws up towards the ceiling. Pelvis tucks under just a little bit here. Low belly and low ribs draw in. Take one more big inhale just like this. We'll exhale to open up to a warrior two. Arms come to a strong T, right foot pivots and plants. Left knee is right over left ankle. Inner thighs are drawing in towards each other. Low belly and low ribs draw in. Maybe looking back over those right fingers to make sure the arms are in one straight line before turning your gaze over that left middle finger. Shoulders draw down away from the ears. We'll take one more deep breath just like this. When you're ready, big inhale, straighten out through that front left knee. And then exhale to reach the left fingers forwards and down, coming in for triangle pose. Big inhale to gaze up towards those right fingers. Exhale, draw that right shoulder blade back behind you just a little bit more. Drawing the inner thighs in towards each other. Pressing down through the outside edge of that right foot. Quads are engaged. Low belly and low ribs draw in. Really drawing up through that whole right side body. Take one more deep breath just like this. And when you're ready, we'll inhale to rise back up. Arms come through a strong T. And then exhale, bend into that front left knee. Bring the left forearm down onto the left thigh. We'll inhale to reach the right arm up and overhead. Maybe you gaze up and under that right bicep. Right arm rotates so that the pinky side of the right hand points down towards the floor. Really drawing up through that whole right side body. Inner thighs draw in towards each other. Low belly and low ribs draw in. Take one more deep breath just like this. When you're ready, big inhale, right arm reaches straight up for the ceiling. We'll exhale, start to reach those left fingers out towards the outside edge of that left foot. We'll inhale to rise up, lifting through those right toes. And exhale to slowly lower back down. Inhale as you start to rise up. Exhale to slowly lower. Inhale to rise up. And exhale to lower back down. We'll inhale to rise up to the top of your half moon pose. And exhale to stay here for a couple of breaths. Maybe you stay planted on those left fingers. Maybe you start to rise off of those left fingers. Maybe you start to turn your gaze up towards the right fingertips. Stacking right hip on top of left. Opening up towards the right side of your mat. Take one more big inhale here. And then as you exhale, bend into that left knee, start to lower the right foot down. We'll inhale, arms back up to a strong T. And then exhale to cartwheel the hands down around that front left foot. Inhale, step the left foot back to meet the right. And exhale to lower down to the knees. Sink the seat back towards the heels. Find a child's pose. We'll meet back in child's pose. Sinking the seat back towards the heels, arms extend out in front of you. Work to bring the forehead down towards the mat. Take a couple of deep breaths here. Maybe you even reach the arms back behind you for the outsides of the feet. If your forehead reaches the mat here, rolling out from side to side a little bit, releasing some tension before coming back to stillness. We'll take one last deep breath just like this. And when you're ready, we'll inhale to start to rise back up to the top of our table pose. Shoulders stack over wrists, hips stack over knees. We'll come in for thread the needle. So take a big inhale, bring your right arm up towards the ceiling, gazing up towards right fingers. As you exhale, start to thread the right arm underneath the left. Come down onto the outside of that right upper arm and onto your right cheek. Take an inhale to reach the left arm up towards the ceiling, maybe gaze up towards those left fingertips. And then as you exhale, you can either wrap the left arm behind the low back, reaching for the outside of that right hip, or you could reach the left arm straight out in front of you, and then start to wiggle your fingers up and over towards the top right corner of the mat. Take a breath just like this. And if you'd like to, you can start to extend that left foot back behind you. Toes stay hooked down on the floor at first. Take a breath here. And then if it feels okay, maybe you start to lift through those left toes once again, working to stack left hip on top of right, coming into a balancing pose here in your threaded needle. Take one more deep breath just like this. And then on your next exhale, slowly lower those left toes back down, coming back down onto that left knee. We'll take a big inhale, reach your left arm back up towards the ceiling. And then exhale, plant the left hand right by your face. Big inhale, right arm reaches all the way up, gaze up towards right fingers. And exhale, plant the right hand back down. Shake your hips out from side to side a little bit. We'll take all this on the left-hand side. So big inhale, left arm reaches all the way up for the ceiling. And then exhale to thread the left arm behind the right. Come down onto the outside of that left upper arm and that left cheek. We'll inhale to reach the right arm up high, maybe gaze up towards right fingers. Then as you exhale, you can reach the right hand for the outside of that left hip. Or you could start to reach the right arm straight out in front of you, maybe wiggling the fingers up and over towards the top left corner of the mat. From here, if you'd like to add that balance, maybe extending the right foot back behind you, right toes stay hooked down on the floor. And then when you're ready, you could start to think about lifting up through those right toes, working to stack right hip on top of left, finding your balance. Take another deep breath just like this. And then as you exhale, Slowly start to lower those right toes back down, lower the right knee back down. We'll inhale to bring the right arm back up towards the ceiling. And then exhale, plant the right hand down by your face. We'll inhale, sweep the left arm back up high, gaze up towards those left fingers. And exhale to come back to the top of your table pose. Shake it out through the hips one more time. And then when you're ready, we'll cross the ankles, send the seat back, kick your legs straight out in front of you, and then start to popcorn through the knees a little bit, making your way into a seated pose. Maybe you move the flesh away from the sits bones here, flex your toes in towards your body. Big inhale, arms come all the way up overhead. And then as you exhale, fold forwards over bent knees or straight legs. Hands come outside of the legs on the mat here. Let the legs go, maybe popcorn out through the knees once again. Rounding through the spine, start to bring the crown of the head down towards the legs. Maybe you shake the head yes and no a couple of times before coming back to stillness. Take a couple of deep breaths here. In this seated forward fold, stretching through the entire length of the back body. And when you're ready, we'll inhale to start to roll up towards seated. As you exhale, keep rolling, come all the way down onto the back. From here, you can take a moment to draw the knees in towards the chest, wrapping the arms around the shins and rocking a little bit from side to side. And then when you're ready, we'll start to extend the right foot towards the right corner of the mat, the left foot towards the left corner of the mat, arms long beside you with the palms facing up towards the ceiling. Adjust the hips and shoulders as you need. Softly close the eyes. We'll take one last deep breath all together here. Big inhale, fill all the way up to your collarbones. Exhale, sigh it out the mouth, let it go. Taking rest here in your Shavasana.